Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. As you all know that myself I am Gangotri studying in SPCE Bengaluru first year BE. Today I am going to explain you the topic of basic concepts of coplanar concurrent force system. Basic idealization. The process of replacing an actual structure with a simple system conducive to analysis is called structural idealization. Most often, lines that are located along the center lines of the components represent the structural components. The sketch of a structure idealized in this manner usually is called a line diagram. Force and system of forces. A system of force refers to a collection of individual forces acting on an object or a system. These forces can be external forces applied to the object from the surrounding environment or internal forces generated within the object itself. Elements of forces: magnitude, point of application, line of action, direction. Resolution of a force. When a force is resolved into two mutual perpendicular directions without changing its effect on the body, the parts along those directions are called resolved parts, and this process is called a resolution of a force. Fx is equal to F cos theta, Fy is equal to F cos theta. Composition of forces. The algebraic sum of the resolved parts of a number of forces in the given direction is equal to the resolved part of the resultant in the same direction. The process of finding out the resultant force of a number of given forces is called the composition or compounding of forces. Net force, also known as resultant force, is the overall force acting on an object when all the individual forces acting on the object are added together. The net force is a vector produced when two or more forces act on a single object. The finding of a single force, if such exists, that shall be equal in the effect of two or more given forces. Forces acting at some angle from the coordinates axis can be resolved into mutually perpendicular forces called components. The component of a force parallel to the x-axis is called the x-component, parallel to the y-axis the y-component, and so on. Methods of finding resultant. Parallelogram law. The parallelogram law states that the diagonal in a parallelogram formed using the two forces equals the resultant force magnitude. Additionally, the angle between the base of the parallelogram and the diagonal equals the direction of the force. The resultant force refers to the force actually seen on an object. A normal force is any force that is physically applied on an object versus force such as electrical forces. The resultant force is the total of all normal forces on an object. If two people are pushing on opposite sides of a box using equal force, the box will not move. The resultant force is zero. If two people are pushing that same box in the exact same direction, then the resultant force will be sum of the two forces. Polygonal law. The polygonal law of force states that if a number of concurrent forces acting at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by the sides of a polygon taken in order, then the forces are in equilibrium and the resultant is zero. The polygon method is an old and established approach based on a simple geometric algorithm in which we construct a polygon around each hole to determine an area of influence for the hole, and then the total volume directly beneath the polygon is assigned the same values as the drill hole from we constructed. Moment of force. The moment of a force is a crucial concept in the engineering and is given by the product of the force and its distance of action from a specific point. The pivotal formula for the moment m of a force F acting at a distance d from a point can be represented in latex as m is equals to F into d. The moment of force refers to the effect of a force on a body rotating around an axis. It is equal to the product of that forces, magnitude and the line of forces perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. The moment of a force about a point is the magnitude of the force into the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force from the point. Couple. A couple is a pair of force equal in magnitude whose line of actions of force is not the same. Moment of couple is equal to the product of either of forces and the perpendicular distance between the forces. A couple consists of two parallel forces that are equal in magnitude, opposite in sense, and do not share a line of action. It does not produce any translation, only rotation. The resultant force of a couple is zero. The couples may be classified into two categories. First one is clockwise couple, second is anti-clockwise couple. Explanation. A couple whose tendency is to rotate the body on which it acts in clockwise direction. Such couple is called as positive. Opposite to this is called as anti-clockwise couple. Resultant of coplanar concurrent force system. The resultant of any number of concurrent forces can be found by resolving each force into its rectangular components and then adding the components algebraically. Remember, the sum of Fx is equals to 0 and Fy is equals to 0. The resulting number will be the components of the resultant. Coplanar concurrent point. In this system, line of action of all forces passes through a single point and force lies in the same plane. An example is the weight suspended by two inclined strings. Here, all the three forces passes through a point A. Thank you.